You might want to go grab some tape your jaw shut, because odds of your jaw being on the floor when you hear this story are high. But I'm happy to say it's the best ending to the worst story. Guys, this is the very first story I ever told on TikTok, and back then I pronounced her name wrong. I said Alison Botha, but I think it's Alison Botha. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm probably still wrong, but I just went to her TikTok profile to make sure I pronounced it correctly. She follows me. Allison, yeah, I'm never gonna get over that. Allison, message me, I need to talk. Nevertheless, this is the story of Alison Botha, one of the most insane stories I've ever heard to this day. Also, just want to say, in case Allison sees this, Allison, you were literally the biggest inspiration to so many people, and I look up to you so much, but let's get into it. The two perpetrators that Allison had the misfortune of meeting were France and Tiens. A little bit of background on both. France was the son to a policeman. Childhood, fine. When he was a teenager, not fine. He made friends with the wrong crowd, was an absolute menace, got expelled from school, causing him and his family to move to what was back then known as Port Elizabeth in South Africa. One of France's biggest and favorite hobbies became worshiping the devil. Yes, he got a girlfriend who claimed to be the head witch of a coven, and together they spent a lot of time doing rituals and manifesting demons. And I know Satanism doesn't always mean worshiping the devil, but in this case it does. France soon dropped out of school and started claiming that he was possessed by the devil. And then he went into the army. How scary is that? A man that is claiming to be possessed by the devil being in charge and around so many weapons. He left the army, got married, had a baby, abandoned his family, got married again, had another baby, and throughout it all he was still getting in trouble with the law, committing petty crimes, and continuing to claim that he had supernatural powers from Satan himself. At 26 years old, France meets 19-year-old Tiens. Tiens had a rough upbringing. He was not born into the greatest family, unfortunately. At 15 years old, he dropped out of school, turned to substances to cope, got involved in petty crime, and then eventually also joined the army. That was one of the things that him and France had in common, but Tiens also dated a witch girlfriend, and the two of them worshipped the devil together as well. France and Tiens met in June of 1994, and they would become a volatile pairing. France told his new friend Tiens that he possessed the power of the devil, and I think that Tiens started to look up to France a little bit. The two of them would go on to do horrible, disgusting things. They frequently visited graveyards in the middle of the night doing weird things, and then they would go on an SA spree. They would go out looking for women to attack and SA simply because they wanted to. And because France specifically thought that he deserved to, because he thought he was so attractive that women loved him, and he thought that he deserved to get whatever he wanted to get from them. Sick, sick, sick. On December 4th of 1994, France and Tiens SA'd a victim together, a 21-year-old woman that was 3 months pregnant. After the attack, the woman went straight to the police station and reported it. France and Tiens got arrested, but released pending a further court appearance, and it was before that pending court appearance that Allison would be taken as their victim and put through things no human being should ever be put through, let alone survive. Allison surviving the things that she was put through was unheard of. To me, there's no other way to describe it other than a miracle, truly. Alison Botha grew up a very happy and loved girl. Her mother raised her in a beautiful way, and she was really raised to be